Alright, let's break this down. Why does it seem like Justin Gaethje is getting handed another title shot? Dana White and Gagey himself keep implying it, and honestly, it's kind of frustrating. I mean, not that long ago, we just saw Dustin Poirier get a third title shot, despite not really earning it. And yeah, the storyline was fun, but let's be real, it was still a gift. Now, the same thing looks like it's going to happen with Gagey, and it's annoying because the guy just got knocked out by Max Holloway not that long ago, like literally one fight before this one. If you ask me, he needs at least one more win before being in that conversation. Yeah, his last win, last Saturday against Rafael Fiziev, that was nice, but that guy was on a 2-fight losing streak. That's not exactly a title shot worthy. The whole pattern of recycling the same top 5 guys for a title shot is exhausting. If Michael Chandler could actually win a fight, the UFC would give him 5 title shots by now. But instead of a fresh matchup, we're looking at another gimme title defense for Islam Makhachev. There are way better fights to make. I'd rather see Islam versus Charles Oliveira 2, or even Islam versus Arman Tsarukyan. But Gagey? Nah, man, if we're going to hand out title shots, why not let someone in the top 6, 7, or even 8 get a chance at this point? And look, I get it, Justin Gaethje is a savage. He's taken out big names like Dustin Poirier, Rafael Fiziev, and Michael Chandler. The guy is exciting, and when he's on, he's on. But when it comes to title fights, we've seen him drop the ball not once but twice. Against Khabib, he got dominated and choked out. Against Charles Oliveira, yeah, it was competitive, but at the end of the day, it was still the same story. So why are we running this back again like it's going to be any different? What I really want to see is Arman Tsarukyan versus Islam Makhachev too, because let's be real, that's the fresh competitive fight in the lightweight division, and it needs it. But of course, we're not getting that, not yet, because Arman pulled his back in the main event and had to pull out last minute, So that was an entire disaster. Arman's in the doghouse. So if Arman isn't getting an immediate title shot, why not do Justin Gaethje versus Arman Tsarukyan for a number 1 contender fight? That's the fight that makes sense, and the winner gets that shot at Islam. That way, Gagey actually earns his way back, and Arman, who's been grinding and improving, gets the chance to prove that he belongs at the top. It's a win-win, plus stylistically, that fight would be a banger. You've got Gagey's power, durability, and leg kicks against Arman's grappling, cardio, and underrated striking. That fight would have real stakes and would give us a legitimate, deserved challenger for the title. And I think it's a fun, fresh matchup, and as who could win this fight? Well, I think it's Arman, but Justin is still dangerous because we all know what Gagey brings: pressure, power, and those brutal leg kicks. When he's in the rhythm, it's a nightmare for anybody to stand across from him. The guy is an absolute dog in the octagon. He thrives in chaos, and if you let him drag you into a brawl, you're probably going to go to sleep. But here's where the matchup gets interesting. Arman isn't that kind of guy to play into his game. Gagey's biggest weakness has always been dealing with the guys who can mix it up. And that's exactly what Arman does. He's fast, he moves well, and he can strike just to keep you off. And to be honest, that's the real key here, his wrestling. Arman is a high-level wrestler, and we've seen Gagey struggle against guys who can take him down and keep him there. And yeah, I know people are going to say, well, Gagey's got his wrestling too. And he does. His defensive wrestling is solid when he's fresh. But that's the thing. Arman isn't just going to shoot takedowns recklessly. He's setting them up. He's using feints, mixing in his striking, and consistently keeping his opponents guessing. Gagey, on the other hand, is at his best when he knows what's coming, when he can just plant his feet and throw. Now, the way I see this fight going is that Gagey has a window early where he's the most dangerous. Maybe he lands something big, maybe even stuns Arman. But as the fight goes on, the window starts closing. Arman is going to make him work, push a pace. And once Gagey starts slowing down, that's where the fight really shifts. Now, if Arman gets him down, it's bad news. Gagey doesn't have the submission defense to survive down there for too long, and he doesn't have the sweeps or jiu-jitsu to get back up easily. If Charles Oliveira made it look easy, Arman can absolutely do the same. So how does this end? If I had to guess, it's probably going to be a late TKO. Gagey's tough, no doubt about it, but when you start drowning in a fight like this, survival mode kicks in, and Arman, he's not the type of guy to let you off the hook. And look, man, I like Gagey, I respect what he's done, but if we're talking about this and who deserves this fight for a title, this is the fight that makes sense. And if it happens, I see Arman taking it. But instead, the UFC looks like it's just handing out title shots again. And this is where it gets frustrating. The whole lightweight division has turned into a closed loop system. The same top 4 or 5 guys getting recycled for a title shot, while new blood barely get a chance. So if Gagey wants another shot at Islam, make him go through Arman first. Let's see if he can actually earn it that way. That's the fight to make. But let's be real, the UFC is probably not going to book Arman versus Justin anytime soon. Arman is in the doghouse after pulling out, from that main event, and Dana doesn't seem too eager to reward him with a big fight right away. So if it's Islam Makhachev versus Justin Gaethje, then screw it. Let's break it down. Now on the surface, this fight has all the makings of a war. Gaethje's coming in with that wild pressure, heavy hands, and those nasty leg kicks. If he can keep it standing, you know he's going to make it a dogfight. Islam, on the other hand, is as calculated as they come. He's patient, technical, and he knows exactly how to nullify a guy like Gaethje. So, let's go back and forth on how this can potentially play out. Gaethje's got a small window early where he's at his most dangerous. First round, maybe part of the second, he's fresh, he's explosive, and that's where he's at his best. You know, that's his best shot at catching Islam. His leg kicks could be a huge factor, especially if he starts landing them clean. Islam relies a lot of movement and timings for his entries. If Gaethje can slow that down, suddenly those takedowns become a little harder to shoot. But here's the thing. Islam's not going to just stand there and let him bang. He's going to feel out the range, pick his spots, and the second he gets a chance, he's going to shoot for that takedown. Now, this is where things start going downhill for Gaethje. Islam's not just a good grappler, he's a problem once he gets his hands on you. Gaethje's takedown defense isn't bad, it's actually quite good, but we've seen what happens when he fights elite grapplers. Khabib took him down and finished him with zero resistance. Oliveira took him down and made him tap in seconds. Islam's control is just as suffocating if he can get Gaethje down. He's not going to let him back up easily. And this isn't some hold him down type of grappler. He's going to be advancing position, he's going to be looking for submissions, and forcing Gaethje to make mistakes. Gaethje's problem has always been his defensive jiu-jitsu. He's got wrestling defense for sure, but his defensive wrestling isn't that good. Islam is going to chain wrestle, control the wrist, and once Gaethje starts panicking to get up, that's when the submissions open up. Now, don't get me wrong, if Gaethje somehow lands that perfect shot early, he can absolutely win, but that's a big if. More than likely, Islam takes over the first round, starts wearing him down, and by the third or fourth, Gaethje is either stuck in bad positions, eating ground and pound, or he's getting submitted. So yeah, it's fun on paper, but when you really look at it, this is just another fight where Islam methodically picks a guy apart and does what he does best. And that's winning. Gaethje is dangerous, but Islam is built to beat these guys. I'm not going to lie. And honestly, this is giving me Renato Moicano vibes, not in terms of skills, but just the way the UFC has handled it. Moicano didn't deserve a shot against Islam where he stepped in on short notice, but he took it and it just ended up being another name on Islam's resume. Same thing here. Islam versus Gaethje isn't a fight that's really pushing Islam. It just adds another name to his legacy. Now, don't get me wrong, Justin Gaethje is dangerous, but we've seen this story before. If Islam beats him, it doesn't really change anything. It's just another W. What I really want to see is Islam versus Arman because that's a fight that actually tests him. If Islam can beat Arman, then go up and win another belt at that point. Now we're talking about a legacy that's undeniable. That gives him the next level aura. That's real dominance. But whatever, it looks like the UFC is going the safe route. But those are my thoughts. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below if you agree with me or not. But if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And like always, guys, I'll see you guys on my next one.